Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I'm just chilling here with Wendell, and as you can see, Aphrodite's in the background. She's finally not hissing at him. But today, I wanted to talk about Demon Slaying 101. I actually wanted to label the video Demon Slaying 86. If you've taken college courses or if you've been to college, you'll know that. I don't know if universities do this, but sometimes community colleges and um, private colleges have what's called a like 70s, 80s, 90s, and those types of courses. When you see a course labeled 100 plus, or I believe it's 101, that is a college level course, if I remember correctly. Anytime it's lower, what you're seeing is usually a lot of times advanced high school courses. Like you may go to a school and they had AP classes when I was coming up. um, this is not what it means, but this is what I call it. I call it accurately precise, but that's not. I don't believe that's what it means. Sometimes I create little phrases and things like how other people play with language. But the point is, I had like there was classes in my high school like AP Physics and AP Calculus and trigonometry, different classes like that. Now, while I was on course in mathematics and science, because I was in, I believe, you had algebra, then you had the next geometry. Then it went to pre-calculus, calculus, physics. I was going to be ending with calculus, calculus 2, and physics, but then in my sophomore year, I got terribly bored. I mean, I was falling asleep in classes all the time. My mind is so advanced that the whenever you see people coming from like a lot of different countries and stuff, or even within our country, what they'll do is they'll read the book personally and teach themselves. Our curriculum, what it does is it teaches like 1/6, one portion of a book for like 6 months. And I understand why they do that. I've said in other videos, people need time to keep up and all type of other shit. But essentially, what I've noticed with education and learning, and especially in this country, is that they're teaching us the basics to be able to communicate and know basics. Then outside of that, it's for corporate gain. So I didn't make this video to talk about capitalism versus socialism because anybody that's paying 70% taxes, that's fucking ridiculous. You see, sometimes in life, people deal with papers. Paper. And when they deal with paper, it's a lot harder for them, or it's a lot easier for them to shit on paper because we wipe our ass with toilet paper, do we not? I hope you understand what that means. And so when people actually go meet the human, a lot harder to shit on somebody you identify with or have common ground with. That's why I heard somebody recently say Jim Carrey was Jim Carrey was the Wayne's family Eminem. People like Eminem. People like, give me a moment. People like, I don't want to say Tiger Woods because that's a little different. I don't think Eminem hates white people. I don't think Tiger Woods hates black people. Never had a conversation with the man. But anyways, what I'm saying is a lot of times people will make it easier for groups to assimilate because then they find common ground. Jim Carrey, goated. Eminem, goated. I began talking about Eminem as I got older, but let this be a part of Demon Slaying 101. Envy. I found every reason not to like Eminem because then Eminem tied into a seed of something that I had that I didn't realize. Racism, bigotry. You see, I'm not here to say, as I've told you all before, evil, 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 evil. We all have narcissistic tendencies. We all have bigotry. We all have biases. We all have a little racism. A couple of my brothers and sisters were horridly racist against Indians, and I couldn't understand why. I began learning about the Hindu culture in Indians, and I began to see why. One of the most racist against even their own. They got the darkies down south, and they explained a lot of the genetics in the video. The commenters did, so then I started to look certain things up. But then you got North India. Oh my God. Insane. Another thing I'd like to touch on. India is fucking horrid. The reason why Afghanistan and some of these Middle Eastern countries have not turned into India after the British and the colonists dealt with them is because they fucking fall back. Of course, in high school, I used terror, terror, blah, blah, blah. Of course, I was always the steady person of loving anybody. But, I was just as caught up in the bullshit as the rest of them. And now that I'm an adult and I've seen what they've done to my people, what they're doing to Palestine, what they've done to Africa, what they've done to the Middle East, I realize, holy shit, those are people fighting back. They may have their problems in their kingdom, but nobody's coming over and bombing America for what the fuck America's done to blacks, are they? Another thing I'd like to touch up on. White men fight back, now there are shootings and bombings everywhere. Are you guys seeing the problem? A part of Demon Slaying 101 is realizing even though something looks, imitates, and seems like me, I am not that thing, and I need to break away and sometimes battle that thing. So yes, I make videos talking about some things I see in my community, but you won't catch me making videos saying black, 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 you criminal black. Because there's a balance to all things, and I see exactly why we're in this fucking problem. And so I don't blame us for this. I try to teach us out of this. Demon Slaying 101. Do you see my fire right now? Sometimes in civilization and humanity, they like words like toxic, mean, bullying. What they're doing is they're projecting. They are vile in nature sometimes. But then to make themselves feel better, they accuse other people. The only way to truly become holy is to accuse thy goddamn self. Once I can see what's going on within me, then everything else will be clear. You know why? Because it's not my job to deal with those people unless they're causing harm, and it's something that me, with my empathy and my free will, knowing that it could be harming me, I should go help others. While I am a working man and have been all my life, and my fathers and fathers and fathers, so I cannot go sometimes always travel miles and miles to get picket signs and travel to this country and that country and do all this shit. I go to some of these countries with my paycheck, I'll be a millionaire. The problem is getting out of this shithole with that money. So yes, I'm talking shit. I could easily go and travel and vacation and do all those things, but I don't want to. Not with the current state of affairs. And so, Demon Slaying 101. Yes, India looks horrid, but I know Indian people are caught in a colonial system that has been demonstrated. Every country I see that, even certain parts of the Middle East, parts of Africa, well, look, you see like abandoned buildings, trash and stuff everywhere, things all fucked up. Who did that? Who did that? There was a video where a man is creating prosthetics where the brain waves can activate these things on the outside. So you don't have to do invasive surgeries like Neuralink and stuff. And so the commenters, one of the commenters, because there's a lot of loving comments, one of the commenters said, "Oh, you people are fucking trolling us. You haven't even you need to fully evolve, and now you're talking about you prosthetics, blah, 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 blah." So I Googled it just to make sure I don't make an ass of myself. And even Reuters is reporting on this shit. I was like, holy fuck. This is real. Demon Slaying 101. Why did I go double fact check that? Is it because I want to know the truth, or is it because when I see Africans, even myself have about, okay, what are they doing? Is this a scam? Is this woo woo woo? So then I went to certain European countries and Asiatic countries, India, and the UK. And the number of people stabbing people, scamming people. In India, if you don't got internet, good luck. While trash and everything is everywhere. Everybody's trying to get a couple more rupees from you. But everybody has the nerve to talk about fucking African Americans. Demon Slaying 101. What is causing you to hate African Americans so much? Are you sad of the state of you are in? And now you need somebody else to blame? Bigotry, bias, then programming. Am I just believing anything I hear? Am I just wanting to be a part of this group and pretending like I care about what these people care about? But then in the meanwhile, destroying a whole bunch of things. But then you guys hear me saying goddamn and shit and talking about the Jews did this and the Christians are doing that. Will y'all call that evil? We need to learn how to demon slay. So while the title of this video may be Demon Slaying 101, and it seems like I'm talking about a lot of real world things, this is actually Demon Slaying 86. I was going to say 87, but I like the number 6. And I know a lot of people that the 8th beast, there's a lot of idolatry out here that's been taught by other people to a person, because nobody would give a fuck about the number 6, 7, or anything else if it was not taught to them to be this way. A lot of these 7s you see in the Bible and 10s and 3s are the 10 commandments. You got the Ark of the Covenant, the first 3, the next 7. The Lamb that hovered above the waters and the Ark of the Covenant, and the Spirit that hovered above the waters is the Ark of the Covenant. It's an ark. It hovers above. Anyway, so the point is, back to Demon Slaying 86. I am relaxing in my house. You know what I'm talking about. I did this thing at work. They're going to investigate me. I'm giving no signs of any such thing. It is good to be aware and have a certain level of awareness so that way I don't make mistakes at work. But I would that I remain calm. Why am I being stressed out like this? What is it? What has happened throughout my life that now I react this way to external stimuli? What causes my internal stimuli to go down a path of negativity? As this begins to happen, I don't like doing this. I don't like, go in the backyard. Start cutting the grass. Well, it don't need cut the fucking grass. After you cut the grass, wash the dishes. I don't want to do those things. If you have time to say, I don't want to do those things, then you don't have the fucking time to be anxious. You don't have the time to get yourself to where you're bored, to get yourself to where I am thinking something on the inside. What am I thinking? Why can't in my mind I create an imagination where I'm walking through a park and I see this tree right there and there's a bench? What's hindering me from doing that if I can do advanced mathematics? It's the same fucking mind. Whether you see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 5 trees. What have I learned throughout my life that has been productive but also hindered me and my psychological matrix and or spirit, because that's a long word? What have I learned? What do I continue to learn? Do I watch something? I can watch something that's not for me and still be edified by that to know why. Or that thing may bring some new points and I may learn something new because I'm not right or left. I am not blue or red. I am who I am. A lot of times when dealing with civilization, we have to do something called picking up a cross, which is a metaphor for laying one's life down, which is a metaphor for saying I can't always do what I want. But in knowing that there shouldn't be all these things that don't cause harm that we consider evil that we cannot do. Fuck, shit, damn, motherfucker. People will consider those words evil. But then go and use words like, I am busy, the homeless made their choice. These people need to get fucking bombed for October 7th. These people need to be eradicated for September 11th. These blackies need to be whipped for not and beat up and harmed because they didn't let us make them slaves. These gays aren't listening to the words in the Bible, so we need to beat and stone them. How in the fucking fuck does an anomaly of an atomic molecule of a polypeptide creature that isn't still eating raw flesh and taking fruits off of trees and building forts, How do those types of people think that this is okay? You cannot say, I am saying I am human. We are the most conscious. No other creatures exist. And from my perspective. And so when I say humans are the most intelligent creatures, I am vain, ignorant, stupid, and causing my knowledge to further be manipulated and twisted because I feel like I am justified in the stupid shit I am doing. Over and over again, I see trees walking down the street with fruits I have never seen that taste like poison. Instead of there being the simple apple trees, orange trees, pear trees, perhaps there could be a tree with many fruits like Joseph in his coat of many colors. What could that represent? Maybe it's the rainbow, the covenants. Maybe he followed a coat where he followed every color in the rainbow. All of the 7 commandments. Am I saying he doesn't deserve the coat or will get stoned or is evil because he doesn't? I'm saying that a person we like to call, oh, he's a great fucking person. That's his coat. A man will grab Joseph's coat in the end days and say, please, Joseph, who we made Pharaoh. It's a representation of Moses. Out of all his brethren, he was cast aside, and then he became Pharaoh and changed the fucking world. Then when people who didn't know him, right, came along, they went into Canaan and started raiding shit and killing people and stoning their brethren for idols. Y'all think the book of Joshua is so holy. Y'all think King David is so holy. Only if you know how to read it. Because if you take that shit literally, okay, I'm going to explain to you in real time Demon Slaying 101. Break away from this. Break away from this. Learn from my perspective. Learn and understand. I have a foundation of not causing harm and not killing and stealing. First, the foundation from the 10 Commandments and my parents. Then I met many people throughout time that helped and healed me. But a man who really helped a lot was John Core Books, who I likened to actually Joshua, who actually told me, be strong and of good courage, for I have given you the strength to take this land this day. My flesh, my earth, my planet. When I say I am who I am, I'm not saying I rule over all of you, control you, or anything. I'm teaching you how I became. And then you can do the same. Perfect love casts out fear. So when you're sitting there thinking, the Lord God's going to strike me dead. He didn't strike me because I am. Why would I strike myself? Which is what a lot of people are doing. Fuck the Spirit of God. And yet I'm blessed every day. Because I'm not a Germanic pagan. But at the same time, I respect Germanic pagans because I'm not a fucking bigot. Don't fucking touch me. I'm not into men. But at the same time, I respect homosexuals and what they admire to do. Do you see what I'm exemplifying to you all? So yes, come here, my brother, and I don't give a fuck if you're gay. But he won't be grabbing my penis. Do you understand what I'm saying? Stand on the stone. Don't strike it. So, Demon Slaying 101. Purpose. Nobody can take away my self-confidence. No, it's called self-confidence. They can add to different things. Nobody can teach me outside of me what something means, because even when they tell me what it means, then registry, knowledge, me. But I'm thankful for the knowledge that is pure and helpful. I'm thankful for things that God. I'm not holier than thou because we stand the Lord God and all these commandments and follow them, you'll be perfect, because you look fucking nutty. What I'm saying is create a foundation to where you know you're not causing harm. You're trying your best, because I am not lightning. The Lord may be like lightning, but I'm not. I make mistakes many times. And you see I apologize for them to the best of my ability. But sometimes the Lord says stay on the rock with certain things. But the Lord would implore, from my perspective, that we learn and grow together and come together and fix the infrastructure of humanity and become amazing, loving, angelic, holy. In a sense, we're not causing harm to each other anymore. So, Demon Slaying 101. I can find the burning bush, consume it in the sense that it's edifying me, and then go from there. And then the angel of fire, who I leave behind, can guide my descendants, like a father teaching a child and a grandchild. So, the reason why I bring first person view and perspective is so that each person can feel like each person has their own kingdom. I am who I am in my kingdom, and I am the Most High. Honor thy mother and father to the best of your ability. But I do not go into, like, first of all, man, I told people, if you're with a tormenting person, divorce them. Get out of that shit. If that's what you choose to do. If the Lord is telling you to stay and work on it, I am not your God. I am who I am. And I do not seek to be one of your idols that you pull out of your closet. I just simply seek to guide you and help you. Do not be tormented by mankind. They can't do shit to you. Unless they can. Then follow the laws. But I can't tell you what to do. But I won't be killing no fucking body for no reason. I'm not a murderer. I don't give a fuck and hate this place. So, I say certain things to help people understand who I am. And so I don't complain every day and then go, oh, Lord, I promise you. I have videos explaining. I was on what one would call a death hospital bed or table. Found huge masses in my lungs. It was it. And I heard, repent in the name of Jesus Christ. And I said, I rebuke thee. I will not bow. Give my life to a child. But my knees may buckle if I see a bunch of children being harmed. So, like I said, do not let me chain you to a chair. All I can do is be a shining light in the sky that you need not touch, if that makes sense. So, Demon Slaying 101 or Demon Slaying 96. You have an opportunity to save a life. There's a car going towards a railroad. There's a bomb that's about to go off. There's a gun set to a timer like on John Saw, the movie Saw games. And equally, there is another life there. And what would you do to blah, 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 and if you don't act, you're a murderer? More advanced shit. No, I'm not doing anything. You set these traps up. You set that scenario up. You did that shit. So whatever life is lost, and you did that shit, and I was a witness to that shit. How about that? That's my answer to all scenarios. But I'm not fucking dumb. If a psychopath has 10 people in a room and there's one person here, I will sadly tell them I'm sorry and do what I have to do, if that makes sense. I'm a fucking realist. I seek to preserve life. But you get to a point where I'm not fucking with the games. And so the Lord has taught me you have an ability to give life, the life bringer, physically and psychologically. I try to help people understand that it's not about destroying darkness and slaying evil. It's about knowing what's inside and where it's at, like antivirus software, cleaning it out. And then wherever I am comfortable, that I know I'm not causing harm and harming others, that is where I can be. Because what does it profit for me to be like, oh, I'm sick of video games. Now I'm going to go grab a gun and do that shit for real. What does it profit in any way, shape, or form? None. Which means if there's a war going on and they're like, sign up today, son. It doesn't people are like, thanks for protecting us, veterans. They're not protecting you. They're killing innocent people for oil and resources. The banks are giving them loans, these countries, so that when the money inflates, they owe them more, but it's the same fucking piece of paper. So yes, Demon Slaying 101. I code switch often to comfort others. This is my YouTube. But when I'm out in public, I am very sweet and kind to others, which is something that I should exemplify sometimes on this camera. It is just all those other times I don't really get a chance to be myself sometimes, because sometimes I could be like, what the fuck are you fucking talking about? But I'd rather say, hey, let's go down a different path. Let's talk about this, change the subject, talk about this. Maybe I could give a little facts here and there. They don't want facts. Okay, let's play fairy tale land. You know what I mean? But it can get to a point where if you're rude, if you're mean, if you're not what I'm into or what I want to deal with, I can be polite about, hey, peace. Just be real. Stop giving people gifts. Stop doing stuff. Stop being so fucking fake. Because the true nature of godliness in the beginning, to even start and initiate anything, is to tell the fucking truth. Not blah, 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 this is the truth. Search on the inside. Weigh it out. Compare it to things. Think about, is this road strong? I'll compare it to titanium, steel, concrete, with rebar, without rebar. Let that metaphor be a metaphor for how I think on the inside when dealing with any situation in critical thinking. While I'm not telling you to think and blind yourself, because imaginations and going into the consciousness while working or doing something is dangerous. If you're doing it too deep. Like now you're just imagining, daydreaming, no. But we all have that voice, stream of letters and words and numbers in the mind that we can configure into a sentence or a paragraph or whatnot. And I am asking for not everybody else, but for me, who I am, to go in and search for these things. What makes me mad? When I see that thing and get mad, okay, truth. There's truth and I got mad. What causes that mad? What is it about me that I am getting mad about? Is it worth getting mad about? When I get mad and I get fired and my heart rate goes up, is it worth it? Could something medically happen to me? Am I being manipulated by somebody trying to get me mad to get my money? Am I fiery over something because somebody at the top created a narrative that sounds right, and now I gotta fight for this thing? But am I really doing the right thing in the bigger picture, in the bigger scheme of things? Yes, white men, you are being talked about heavily. I see it. But I would that you stop getting on camera talking about, oh, we're the most oppressed. They don't like us. They're talking about us. Because I am telling you, in a world where a person should critically think about certain things, I do not think a person spent much time thinking if they're saying, me as the white straight male has the problem. You have problems. You have things you have to deal with. I understand what it's like when people don't want to be your friend, when they blame you for everything. APB, blacky. But I implore you, instead of fighting us, you might find some empathetic people that be like, oh, brother, yeah, me too. Nobody else is listening to me and calling me a blacky asshole conspiracist. You might be my best friend, even though whites made me mad and blacks made you mad. Give me a high five. You never know. And then you two can go eat a whole bunch of corn and do all that corny shit you was about to do. Am I saying that's wrong? That's awesome. Cool. Best friends. Hey, you're Arnold and Gerald. There's a whole lot of other cartoons I can name. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is representation. The same people you think you fucking mad at, I, for 2.5 some years, told my stepdaughter, I'm sick of you watching Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty. I heard this guy was humping a toy baby. Rick and Morty. Now I can't stop watching Rick and Morty. Look, if you're watching me, if you're able to, for a second, as deep as you need to, and just let go, just and feel how long it takes for you to tense up or think about, or something that's, of course, breathe and do what you gotta do, but and maybe let some time go by, and then feel it. Am I tense again? What is causing this? Because what you guys are like, you guys don't, sometimes people forget how the mind works. It's not always you remember a phrase, a memory, a saying, a direct visual of something. Over time, we hear things or learn things that give us sort of the panics or the shakes, especially growing up as a child. We're not fully aware yet. And while a baby, you don't really fear nothing, as we grow and gain instincts and knowledge, especially in this mind twisting world we call civilization and capitalism, and some of these socialistic dictators and Nazis and religious psychopaths, theocrats. Anyways, the point is, we learn things over time. And as we learn these things, sometimes we gain a deep bias and fear of certain things. We don't remember or even hear those things, oh, blacker, blacker, blacker. But maybe something deep inside set off a movement, planted a seed, and has been secretly growing under the dirt. Maybe something even for African Americans, man. I know and I can see. But what I'm saying is, it's not profitable to go down that path. Anakin was as justified as ever. He lost his everything and was angry and pissed off. And look what it got. And look what it got him. Order 66, right? So, what I'm telling y'all is just do not get children high. Do not. If you watch me and think the spirit of God came from that fucking marijuana, I rebuke thee, Satan. I will not say that on camera. Then you need fucking help. I told you I am who I am. I do these things for fun. They are metaphors. I envy the unaware motherfucker who is so laxed in life that they give children drugs. Okay. And I'm going to say this real quick. Demon slaying 101. Whatever you do on the inside that could possibly leak onto the outside, I implore you all to clean it out. You all know what's down in there. I have a rule. To me, rape and murder are one and the same. Because after you're done and that person's lying and they're trying to live as the Walking Dead with that awful fucking psychotic satanic experience in their head, something that was so pleasurable and now you don't have regret, but now they are living in the dirt beside and thinking of suicide because you had to open up their legs and now they run and hide. That's why it says thou shalt not rape or murder. Because I know y'all little justice system are easy on pedophiles because most of them are. But your justice system is irrelevant to the star. The one who built the blocks and put the Legos in the first place. Rape is a fucking disgrace. I don't care if you're man or woman. Rapists will be dealt with, and pedophiles. So I suggest y'all deal with them files.